Dani Olmo is in a very odd situation. I've never really seen anything like this, where he might not be able to play the next half of the season.
As of right now, he cannot.
He cannot play maybe ever.
Right.
For Barcelona, so they have to sort out a financial issue. So
the club needs to register him in order to play for the team. So you have to register him as a player that we own his contract, right? Yes. He is a player for Barcelona. La Liga is being very strict by saying you have to be a certain number over your losses. So you have to, or
financial losses.
So your business has to be, the business side of your club has to be intact in a certain way to a certain level, or else we're not allowing you to go out and buy new players.
Yes. And Barcelona has had these financial issues for the last couple years.
Oh, wow, man. They've been playing this game of chicken with, the accountants. I don't know who this is.
The triggers and
levers. They've been pulling levers. They've mortgaged out their digital future, right? They've sold like the Barca studios, and they're trying to do it again with the suites.
Yeah.
They're trying to get, they're trying to sell the suites to their new stadium. Apparently they're going to have like really lavish.
It's going to be the Spotify Camp Nou.
Yeah. They're trying to sell the suites and the VIP boxes, and I think it's $50 million that they're off, that they'll get that if they can. That's why at least was Jean Laporte saying,
yeah.
It's just $50 million, bro. We got that. We got that in the boxes,
in the
bro.
Couch cushions. We got it. Yeah.
If you just wait like 2 to 3 decades, I can get you that money.
Yeah, and the deadline was yesterday. Yeah. So they had
But they're saying they have 2 more days, and La Liga's like, who told you that?
Because of right now, the La Liga has removed Dani Olmo and Pau Victor, the other player.
Yeah, nobody's talking about him. But as a homie, not one person worried about you. Everyone's talking Dani Olmo. You're like, dude, move out of the way, bro. We're trying to. So as of right now, Dani Olmo is essentially a free agent.
Yeah.
Other clubs can talk to him. It's in his contract that if they couldn't register him in January, that he is essentially a free agent. He can move on a free and still be owed money from Barcelona.
Yeah.
This is worst case scenario if you're Barcelona.
Dani Olmo has explicitly said that he obviously wants to stay at Barcelona, but this is the last essentially 3 years, basically since COVID kind of disrupted everything. It's been just a series of embarrassing moments, financial moments. This feels like if you ever watch those financial shows. I forgot the name of the show. It's a guy named Caleb, where people go on his show and they show
I know
him,
what you're talking about. He's like the bigger dude, and
yeah,
he's like,
glasses.
You spend how much money on ice cream? You know what I mean? Like that guy.
And he goes through your financial statements and looks through every single thing, and he just yells at you to be like, yo, you can't buy this anymore. And that's what I feel like with Barcelona. Barcelona has to, they have to show the world everything.
Joao Laporte should go on the show. And he's like, levers, dog. You can't do this.
I mean, at what point does it get just embarrassing where I'm not making the accusation of any sort of corruption, but it's like this mismanagement.
Nobody was talking about that until you just said that. So I'm starting to think maybe you are.
But if there's this much mismanagement with money, then who is responsible for these moments? Like it obviously it trickles down, because you get into these moments where players, he's already been playing, and now all of a sudden,
they knew that when they signed him. That's why it's in his contract that if this happens, he can essentially pull the ripcord. And it begs the question: it's like, you can't even really move on from Joao Laporta, because you have to ride along with this plan now, because if he leaves, whatever the potential, safety net is kind of goes with him. Yeah. Like, who else is going to make, sense of what's happening here and be like, what levers was he talking about? Like, I don't even know. You almost have to, you're kind of leaving the future of your club, the viability of Barcelona as a club in La Liga sits right now at the lap of Joao Laporta. And this is absolutely going the wrong way. Look, worst case scenario is you can't register 2 players, but at least your club stays afloat. But one of these players is really important, and the other guy, we just heard his name for the first time. This is horrible if you are one of the Barcelona shareholders.
When you're financing a stadium, and I think maybe American sports fans maybe don't comprehend this as much.
Yeah, because the local government will just give you tax money to do it. It's a little different.
But it's like, the way it usually works across the rest of the world is like you are running this business, and yeah, you are building a stadium, but that money that you're using to build that stadium, that's like the league still incorporate that
in your profit and loss.
Exactly. So it's like that will affect the players you can buy. It still affects the actual team.
Can everyone hear the Everton PTSD
I'm just saying.
from the drop points last season?
All I'm saying is Barcelona should at the very least be docked 10 points.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah. And Sean Dice. You take Sean Dice.
You got to give us Hansi Flick.
These are the rules, dog.
And Lamine Yamal, and we call it a deal.
Yeah. Imagine Dani Olmo went to Everton. Would that not change your fucking year in a single
I'll
moment?
just be like, you know what? La Liga, they have the rules right.
Yeah. I'm glad you're so staunch, bro.
They're doing things correctly. So yeah, man,
the situation now becomes Dani Olmo may very well be forced to have to go to another club.
Yeah.
But now almost like it's an open season on this guy because he's free outside of maybe paying his wages. It's a free transfer in January. And who needs an attacking midfielder? Who needs a 10?
Well, I think one of the stipulations is as well, if Barcelona can't sign him, and they can't register, they have to pay out his contract, which is hilarious.
That is one of the stipulations. Whoever his agent is like a cigar in his mouth. Yeah, I knew this day would come. Yeah. He's doing the fan out picture in front of a yacht. Why? It's not even my yacht, bro. I'm interested as to who. The big rumors are the two Manchester teams, right? Manchester United, Manchester City.
Yeah.
Manchester United don't make no sense. They don't play with a 10. They play a 3-4-3. And they've been asking Ruben Amorim, like, why don't you switch your tactics? Because you're not winning. And he's like, the tactics don't matter whether you play 3 or 4 at the back. Like, the players have to do what's asked of them, and they're not doing that. Right. Clearly, he's not switching from a 3-4-3. So why would a 10 go there if they don't play with a 10? So I'm assuming Manchester City, but do Manchester City want to bench, I guess, Foden?
You know what's funny is that should be an easy answer because given how they've been playing, but it just reminded me that I had seen on like Overlap or one of those shows where there's a Everton guy that does like like man on the street stuff with I think he works for Everton as well. But he said that Dwight McNeil should get an England call up. He's had a pretty good 2 seasons with Everton and been our best player by far. Maybe next to Pickford, but that was the question: who do you bench on the England team?
Right,
Foden or Grealish? And it's like I would just say yes, right? I mean, do I think Dwight McNeil is better than Foden or Grealish? No, I do not.
No,
but given the recent performances and in like some better form, I would be fine with Dwight McNeil there. So I'm saying if Dani Olmo does go,
that's just you and other people have more than one Everton.
I'm just
shirt
saying
in the
it's not crazy. I'm just saying it's not crazy.
I'm saying it's crazy. I'm saying you bugging. Bro.
So, but I'm saying Foden. If you had Olmo or Foden, you wouldn't bench.
I think you risk. So Olmo's not going to be there for the long term. You expect that Foden potentially will certainly see out his contract.
Sure.
And you risk really shooting his confidence down by bringing in a guy like Dani Olmo. Also, I don't think your attacking midfielder is the reason why you're not winning. I think it's your defensive midfielder and your defensive ability to stop teams. And Dani Olmo doesn't solve that. So I don't think any Manchester. And by the way, Dani Olmo's wife was like, thank God, no Manchester. Thank you, Alexis. I don't want to live there from Barcelona. I honestly think a team like maybe even Arsenal would probably benefit more. And I'm not saying to go to Arsenal because I don't think they need a 10 either.
Yeah.
But if Odegaard wants to continue playing on the right and you're not playing with a double pivot with Declan Rice and Partey, and I know Declan Rice runs forward, I think there's a world where you can play with a Dani Olmo next to Odegaard. Maybe it's a little bit much, but I could see that, especially if Martinelli, although he has played well in the last 2 matches, continues to sort of not really perform at the level he's supposed to.
Sure.
I could see someone cutting in. But all I'm simply saying is no one really plays with a 10 outside of Italy. So I can see Dani Olmo going to like a Juventus.